feel like the club needed that positively?
No, I was very, for the club, fantastic result. I was actually probably more buoyed by the performance in both halves, to be fair. We've been back first team, 3 weeks. I think that given the intensity of the game, spectacle, a lot of people here, I thought first half boys were very, very good, disciplined, stuck to structure, had a lot of good moments. And in the second half, I felt the energy of the reserves, the academy, they were fantastic and they merited the win in the end.
What was the message to them, ahead of this occasion?
Well, I think you've got to ask Greeny that, I think the way we structured the week was I wanted to focus on first half team and Greeny would look after his team, and then that would give us enough love and attention so that they could perform well.
Greeny, what was the message to the young guys?
I think just enjoy the occasion. I try to give them a few words of wisdom that this stadium when it's full is a different beast, and try and embrace it, and I think they certainly did that. I didn't think they shied away from the task at hand. They rode their luck at times, which you have to do in football. But I think for the young boys to score the goal that we did and how we created it, and we showed composure in good moments, and to end with a finish as we did is really, it's a great occasion for the young guys. I'm really proud of all of them, and I think it just sends a message out to some of the work that's been done in the academy. My fellow coaches in there are doing a really good job, and the future looks pretty bright, I think.
We've had the honour of tapping in the ball for the goal. Can you just tell us a little bit about him and his football journey?
Yeah, he's stood watching me now. Look, so I've got to speak highly of him. No, he's got a great attitude within the academy. He's always been a proven goal scorer. Gives it a lot of pace at the top, and is a real handful. And I thought he was there tonight. And he always gets himself into good goal scoring positions, and he's got his rewards for that tonight. So I'm delighted for him, for his family, and I don't think he's probably going to sleep for another week now, and he should enjoy it. So I'm really, really proud of him and the rest of the boys.
Chief, I know it was the reserve side in the second half, but can you just talk to the defensive effort, in particular, sort of that last half an hour of how they defended?
Very stoutly, they were disciplined. We had 2 different structures for both halves, so defending in a 5 was effective in the first half, but again, second half, defending in a 4 has different problems, but I thought the back line was very solid, even after, I think, the 3 changes around the 70th minute. That can disjoint you a little bit, but I thought they did very well. There were some, big performances. I thought Ryan Lee was very good today. The other centre back, Mac, I thought he was fantastic. Even Gardner was winning a lot of those first challenges. So, again, in those moments, it's not so much the tactics. It's the mental state. Being focused and making sure that they stuck to the game plan, and there was real belief there in both halves.
I know the start of the ALeague season's a while away, but can you take momentum from tonight?
I would say so, yeah. I think it's a good catalyst for us. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of the issues that we experienced last season, I feel like we're a long way from those issues now. I think we've put a lot of those to bed. I think that there's a refocus, not only from the players but myself. I feel like the energy is back in the group. I think there's real belief, irrespective of the result tonight. I just wanted a performance, but I think I'm at the stage now where we have a couple of more signings to bring in, and if this is the foundation of the team, I think we're going to have a really good year.
And Greeny, for you, I guess similarly, did you talk much as a team about what the second half team did in Sydney and wanting to replicate that sort of performance?
I didn't put too much pressure on our boys. Again, it was more, in my opinion, was more about the first team. They, as Chief said, they've been on the grass for a couple of weeks now. It was more about that performance and how we could kind of support that. Obviously, getting a result was beyond, I think, my expectations. But yeah, I just asked them to, again, enjoy the evening, put your best foot forward, and the kind of message was, you never know, you might surprise yourself. and they certainly did that. So, as I say, I'm delighted for them. It's about them. It's not about me. It's about them, and they certainly put their best foot forward. And ultimately, they want to try and give Chiefy a headache. They want to put themselves into that first team squad, and I think they certainly did that. So I think the more headaches that Chiefy has going forward will make the first team first team squad stronger, and that competition for places, the players who cement their position know that they've got pressure coming from below them, and that's kind of our job as an academy, and hopefully we get more graduates in that first team squad.
Giancarlo, just you answered Luke, but this is the start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling? You've obviously got depth. The new season, is this we're set to go now with what?
No, I'm buzzing. Like I honestly, if I told you the feeling I had coming into pre-season was a little bit apprehensive, especially it was a tough year last year. There was a lot of learnings, but went through a really good process internally. But I went away myself, self-reflected. Very harsh on myself, and there was a nice realization probably when I was away. Stuck to it, and all I wanted when I came back was, to get the same sort of response from the players that I did. Very honest, I'm not here to, sugarcoat anything, and I think from day one, every training session that we've had so far has been energetic. There's been no excuses from the team. They've been fully focused on making sure that we all share the same goals and we're all going in the same direction. So again, I said to the boys last week, I think it was the best start I've had to a pre-season. This is my 7th year here, so I've, as an assistant and analyst and so on. So I was really, I'm really positive at the moment.
And I don't know who wants to answer this, but with Liberato signing, and the club has always been about players coming through and going off into the world and that sort of thing. Still producing the quality players that can represent New Zealand. The club is bringing them through.
100%. I think you look at even both teams in both halves. The amount of academy products that were out there today was massive, and Libby's kind of the golden star, the pinnacle of what we've kind of achieved. What he's done in the game, going overseas, playing in Europe, playing top level in Europe, and now he's got an opportunity now in the Championship. And to be honest, I don't think it will be long before there's probably a Premier League club knocking on the door if it's not with Wrexham. So it's we've got that production line, and it goes below sort of my group. As I said before, there's some incredible coaches in the academy producing some really good footballers, and that will continue. And there's a lot of work going on, and ultimately to help getting Chiefy's team. And to be fair, I think you've seen with the boss that if they're good enough, they're old enough, as they say. So he'll play them, and that's credit to the club all being on one page, and we know what's expected. And Libby's, as I say, the pinnacle of that. So we're very proud of that.
A word on the fans, nearly 25,000 in tonight. Firstly, how good was it to have Caton near full again? And secondly, are you hoping that we get that sort of turnout for the first round of the A-League?
I'd love for it to be the first round. It's great. Look, I think that was the biggest crowd we've had since the victory game. This place, when it gets rocking, is fantastic. Again, I think before the game we said that we wanted to create some memories tonight, and the crowd was a big part of that. But if we get that in round one, I will be stoked. And if we can maintain it, I'm more stoked, because then I can ask for a raise.
Chief, what's the plan with more signings now? Is there any business likely to be done at all between now and Australia Cup, or do you sort of look to the A-League season now?
No, so we have a signing coming in Monday, Tuesday should be announced. We're in the probably the later stages of speaking to central defender. Depending on how that goes, then that will condition whether or not we bring another visa up top. It's a bit of a balancing act between that, and then there'll probably be another player that comes in after that. So that will eventuate over a month period. Hopefully everyone's in by September 1. There's no expectation that the new boys will be ready for Australia Cup. This will be the basis and foundation of the squad. But as we get closer to the season, the squad will develop.
Now that you've got another A-League team in New Zealand, are you wanting to play pre-season games against Auckland? I'm sure all the fans tonight would love to got a pre-season game. The two derby, the two rivals. But yeah, is that an option now that you want to play them?
Yeah, look, it's really subject to fixture lists and when the derby's placed in the early part of the season. So, for example, if you're playing round 2, round 3, there's a bit of a disadvantage if you're playing those friendlies later. If we play them a little bit earlier in August, even early September, there's still a bit of a time before teams can change and adapt and so on. So you don't want to lose that advantage, but we're very open to playing. I think they'll be a good opponent to play, especially in pre-season. There'll be both teams are trying to get the best of each other, but it also hardens us for the season for the other opponents.
Greenie, Phil Parkinson spoke before about how he was impressed by the athleticism, particularly of the team in the second half. How does that speak to what goes on at the academy and the project that you're running there?
Yeah, as I say, we've got some really good staff members within the academy. They work incredibly hard off the field, the data and stuff that they've got running and all that kind of stuff. I won't kind of bore you with details, but no, they're some really good, cool operators. Don't forget we were at sort of full strength pinnacle of our fitness. We're sort of 3/4 of the way through our season, so there was a difference in that, but I think that's kind of balanced off with the experience that they're playing against, so it kind of falls into one. But to get that from a fellow coach like Phil Parkinson's, it's full credit to the whole academy, so it's great that you get feedback like that. So I shall certainly pass that on to everyone and tell them what a good job they're doing.